Hello, my name is Shannon, and this is my video teaching you about the synovial joint movements. I have Alexander helping me today demonstrating. First, we're going to be talking about flexion and extension. Flexion is decreasing the angle of a joint, so I always think of flexing your bicep. You see that when you flex, the angle your arm makes decreases. Extension is the opposite. When you increase the angle of a joint, you are extending. The next synovial movement that we're going to discuss is dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. Dorsiflexion is when you point your foot up towards the sky. I remember that dorsiflexion because I pretend my foot is a shark or a dolphin dorsal fin sticking out of the water. It's silly, but it helps me remember. Plantar flexion is when you point your foot towards the ground. I remember this one by telling myself, where do we plant plants? Oh, that's right, in the ground. The next is protraction and retraction. Protraction is when you're moving a body part forward like your shoulders. Projection is like projecting your shoulders forward. Retraction is when you're moving back, like pulling your shoulders back. Next is elevation and depression. An example of elevation is when you shrug your shoulders up. Think of this as an elevator going up, while depression would be lowering your shoulders down. The next synovial movement is abduction and adduction. Abduction is moving your shoulder away from the body and your arm. Adduction is bringing your shoulder and arm back to the midline. You are adding your arm back in. Circumduction and rotation. Circumduction is when you form a circle with your arm or leg. Remember that you're making a circle. Rotation is when you rotate or spin your arm around. Think of a radio dial. You can spin a radio dial. Next, we're going to talk about supination and pronation. Supination is palm up. My silly way to remember this one is asking for soup, please. The next is pronation, which is palm towards the ground.